Hello, good morning. Good morning. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So we'll just wait a couple minutes to make sure that everyone who is planning to arrive can arrive, and then we will begin the presentation. So about like 2 or 3 more minutes just to make sure if there's any stragglers that people have an opportunity to show up before we jump right into the presentation. Hello, everyone. This is Chris with See Italy Travel. I am so delighted to be here today to share with you and the Ciao Bambino team a little bit more about how we can support travel agents as you send your clients to Italy. I would like to thank Kathy and the entire Ciao Bambino team for taking time out of your busy schedules. We certainly know how hectic travel can be, especially in the build-up to the travel season, and we really do appreciate your time here today. If for any reason you do need to leave before the end of the presentation, I'm recording this and we'll upload it to a link that I will share with Kathy so that the whole team can have access to this and so that you can go back and rewatch some parts that may be of particular interest to you and your clients. So thank you again. For the duration of the presentation, I will have you on mute. And if any questions occur to you during it, please do just leave a message in the chat box so that we can get to those at the Q&A. The presentation should last around 40 minutes, leaving us ample time at the end for Q&A. Laura Massoni will be joining us for the Q&A, the company founder and CEO. So if you have any questions that you think would be better addressed to her, she's happy to answer them at the very end. And we look forward to hearing from you and collaborating with you in the future. I am going to turn off the video now and switch to screen share so that you are able to see the presentation. See Italy is a tour operator and on-site. We are based in the United States and have offices throughout Italy. We have offices in Milan, in Venice, in Bologna, and now in Sicily in the south. And we were founded by Laura Massoni, who is herself a travel agent for 15 years. And she really wanted to share the authentic Italy with travelers. Having worked as a travel advisor for over 15 years, she realized that a lot of the companies that were out there, especially the mass market companies, weren't really offering the authentic Italy. You were able to see the sites, take a few photos, but you weren't connecting with local traditions, with the local cuisine, with the people who make Italy so famed around the world for its hospitality. When we work with a travel agent in order to piece together an itinerary, we cater each and every itinerary to who your exact clients are. Do they have young children? Are they traveling with a grandmother? Are they in need of particular accommodations because of mobility needs? All of the information goes into the itinerary that we put together in partnership with you. None of our itineraries are copy and paste. None of them are the same. So you, when you present the itinerary to your clients, will know that they are getting personalized care and attention both during the trip planning and during their time in Italy. We really pride ourselves on being able to offer experiences that clients will not be able to find on their own. We've spent years and years curating our relationships on the ground in Italy so that your travelers can experience things like visiting a mozzarella farm and meeting the water buffalo and then tasting and seeing how mozzarella is made behind the scenes. Or going on a private Cicchetti tour of Venice, where you get to go to the hole-in-the-wall wine bars where only Venetians go and have a taste of what it's like to live as a local and not just see the sights when you're in Italy. Consistently, agents who book with us say that we have been able to assist them in increasing their future bookings as their clients come back feeling so taken care of and so wowed that the clients turn to them again and again for all of their travel needs, whether that is to Italy or other destinations. So who is See Italy? As I mentioned before, we were founded by Laura Massoni, who is born and raised in Turin, Italy in the north, in the Piedmont region, and then lived in San Diego for about 20 years. During that time, she was a travel advisor for 15 years and decided that her real passion was sharing the authentic Italy and finding solutions for some of the frustrations that she experienced as a travel agent. So when we founded See Italy, she really was interested in partnering exclusively with the travel agents and being able to give them the support that she found was sometimes lacking. So we are specialists in the authentic Italy. So we focus exclusively on Italy. We only do Italy, which means we have expertise in all of Italy, from the Alps in the north to Sicily in the south, from Siena to Sardinia. Our offices are based in the United States. I'm in Atlanta. The majority of the team is in San Diego, and we have 4 offices on the ground in Italy. So we're able to work with you live on American time during the trip planning process, and we're able to assist your clients in Italy live on Italian time. So you don't have to wait until the next morning or receive that 3 a.m. call while a traveler is in Italy. We are there to help you in the moment when you need us. The travelers who prefer to our itineraries generally are medium to high clientele, seeking intimate experiences, a real connection with locals, sort of want to be inspired by their settings and by the local traditions and culture. So how does See Italy work? When a travel advisor contacts us via email or a phone call, we help to create standout itineraries for you. This, for us, encompasses a number of types of trips that we are happy to assist you with. This could be for individual travelers, honeymoons. We are able to assist with destination weddings and events if you have a special occasion with a large family and in need of catering or anything of that sort. And also families. We know that Ciao Bambino specializes in family-friendly travel. So the family-friendly trips that we can offer are activities that are especially catered to children, to teenagers, or multi-generational family trips where perhaps there are different families with different age groups with different needs. Maybe the family is traveling with grandpa and grandma, they need a villa with a private pool, they need to have different day activities for different families or different transportation for different families. All of those are itineraries that we are pleased to be able to assist you with. So a little bit more about the sort of logistics of working with See Italy. When we receive a request from an agent, we call you to learn more about who your travelers are and what your business is. So we want to know exactly who your travelers are. How do they love to travel? What sorts of hotels are they interested in? What sorts of experiences do they want? Are they interested in art and culture? Are they ancient history buffs? Do they love biking? Do they want to do a hands-on pizza making class? Each of your itineraries is designed to realize your traveler's visions. None of our trips are the same. For most of our FITs, we're able to guarantee a 48-hour turnaround. We recognize that when working in travel, time is of the essence in order to be able to earn your client's trust and to be able to satisfy their needs. We offer 2 complimentary revisions on the itinerary and offer a 12% gross commission for any itinerary. That includes items added during a trip. So if your travelers are in Rome and they decide sort of last minute they want to do a guided tour of the Vatican with a private guide, we're able to help arrange that on site in the moment on your behalf, and that is added to your commission. Our comprehensive itineraries include generally private transfers with English-speaking drivers. The majority of our drivers are driving Mercedes-Benz and high-end cars, so they're very comfortable, air-conditioned, high-speed train reservations, including porterage, so your travelers will always feel taken care of and comfortable. Food and wine experiences, cooking classes, pizza making in Rome, that's kid-friendly, going behind the scenes at a cheese farm and learning how Parmesan cheese is made. Also, behind the scenes and after hours access at major sites like the Vatican, the Uffizi, the Colosseum. We are able to also offer access to spaces that are normally closed to the public. Wine tastings with us are often with a family-run winery. You are meeting with the owner of the vineyard. You're going to the private family cellar. In Puglia, you are able to go and have lunch with a grandmother in her home, learn about the local culture. So these are really experiences that in some cases are never even advertised online, will never be something that your client could Google or find, and in often cases are not even available to travel advisors with your inside connections because we've built the personal connections with these providers in Italy. All of our tours are led by licensed local guides. In Italy, this is of essence, as if you are not a licensed guide, you cannot enter legally into certain spaces. So we make sure that all of our guides are experts in the topic they are presenting. So if you are traveling to Pompeii, we will find someone who is an ancient history expert. If it's with a family, we will find someone who is good at entertaining children and storytelling so that everyone feels involved and excited by the experience. Our deluxe accommodations include 4-star, 5-star, and boutique hotels throughout Italy. These are within walking distance of major sites, so you're never put 20 minutes outside of the city center feeling sort of too off the beaten path during a trip. We're able to assist with villa rentals in the countryside, whether that's in Tuscany, in Umbria, in Sicily, or other regions in Italy. This can include private pools or villas that would be appropriate for a multi-generational family or a family with small children who may need a kitchen. Boutique hotels in the major cities and in the countryside. And in Italy, a boutique hotel often means something that is a family-run, unique property. Maybe it's an 18th century villa that's been converted for modern use. You're staying on a vineyard, or in Puglia, you might be staying on a historic farm that's been converted and updated with luxury amenities. We're also able to assist with apartment rentals. We know that sometimes, especially for families with younger travelers, this is of interest because they want to have access perhaps to a washing machine or a kitchen for especially for younger infants and toddlers. And we're able to assist with seaside and lake view luxury accommodations in the Amalfi Coast, in Capri, Lake Como, Lake Garda, you name it. When travelers are traveling with us, they receive travel documents, the final travel documents, that include naturally detailed tour descriptions and contact information, information on their trains and transfers, a destination guide that we've created for each of the places that they'll be going to, whether that's Rome, Bologna, Milan, the Amalfi Coast. This offers a little bit of history and helps them to get excited about the destination before they actually get there. And once they're there, helps contextualize the differences between a city like Florence and a city like Rome. Authentic dining suggestion, we've pre-vetted for you the places that Italians love to go to, from elegant Michelin star restaurants to sort of the hole-in-the-wall trattoria that's run by the neighborhood grandma. Italy 101 inside tips. This helps explain to your travelers some of the cultural differences between the US and Italy so that when they get to Italy, they won't be surprised that it's difficult to order a cappuccino after 11 in the morning or by road signs or tipping in Italy. Answers to frequently asked questions, both about travel to Italy and travel in general to Europe, and our tipping and packing suggestions so that your travelers were thinking ahead. What are the most common questions that travelers come upon? What are common points of frustration? And we're trying as much as possible to give them the information they need so that they will return happy and excited about their time in Italy. Our support for travel agents involves custom itineraries, both for individuals, small groups, and for families. We're happy to be available for a three-way call to speak with you and your travelers to answer any questions. Perhaps your travelers are traveling to a region in Italy that you are a little bit less familiar with and you need someone to sort of be your backup and be able to answer some of those more specific questions. We're happy to be your partner and to assist you. Educational trips to Italy for agents. This year we just ran 2 trips, one to Sicily in March and one last week actually to Lake Como, Lake Orta, and Lake Maggiore in the north. So we offer 4 trips for travel agents, 2 in the spring, 2 in the fall, in which we get to show you what it's like to travel as one of our travelers would. 12% gross commission on all booked trips and commission added for any activities during a trip. So even if your travelers decide to add a helicopter ride last minute, that's something that is always commissionable to you. We understand all the work that you put in to curating your relationships with your clients and want to make sure that you are rewarded for that investment. We have a 24/7 emergency number in Italy, so in case anything arises that needs to be dealt with in the moment, your clients will be calling us and not you. So we are able to handle that on your behalf. If someone slips and falls and needs an English-speaking doctor, if they've decided last minute that they don't want to take the train but would prefer a scenic countryside driver, all of these are things that we are able to execute on your behalf. And then we keep you advised so that you know in the moment what is happening, what are the updates with your traveler, and you don't have to wait and hear, hey, you know, we wish we'd done that, but we didn't have any way to call you, so it was too late in the United States. They don't have to worry about that. We are able to handle that on your behalf. In addition, I should say we are able to white label any of our itineraries. If you would like us to be sort of your visible presence in Italy, that's great. If you would prefer for your label to be the standout one, that is also something that we are happy to do. At this point, rather than talking generally, I wanted to zoom in a little bit about the specific experiences that we are able to arrange for you in different regions throughout Italy. In Venice and the Veneto, The Veneto is the region surrounding Venice. We're able to offer experiences, and some of these are really great for families and for kids who are traveling to Italy. Mask making with a trained artisan. I'm sure many of you have seen the Venetian carnival masks. So we have built relationships with some of the artisans in Venice, and you're able to go and select a handmade papier-mâché mask, and then the artisan teaches you, in the company of an English-speaking guide who helps to translate, how to paint and decorate the mask. So instead of stopping in a shop and buying a souvenir, you're actually making a souvenir for yourself. Another family-friendly option that's great for perhaps slightly older children or really active families, which I'm sure in the Bay Area you have many of. You can kayak Venice's canals, islands, or lagoons. These can be a half-day excursion, a full-day excursion to the lagoons. It can be even done at night or on Burano Island, surrounded by the multicolored buildings on that beautiful island in Venice. You can go on a food market tour of the Rialto market, which is the main Venetian food market. And it's a covered market. You go in the morning, and with our chef, you select ingredients, meet the vendors, and then return to the chef's home and do a hands-on cooking class. From Venice, if these are travelers who've already been here before, it's also possible to do excursions from Venice. You can go to Lake Garda for the day and have lunch alongside the lake and do a boat cruise to some of the historic villas. You could head north to the Dolomites and see sort of beautiful alpine views, or even take a river cruise along the Brenta Canal, which connects to Padua, which is a Renaissance city right near Venice. Milan and the lakes. Milan is not generally the main destination of travelers, but really is an exciting destination for those perhaps who have older children who are traveling on their own. It is by far the most cosmopolitan and international of Italian cities. So here you could do sort of classic activity like attending the opera at the world-famous La Scala Theater, having ticket reservations and a guide to view the Last Supper. Also from Milan, it's quite possible to do some really lovely day trips. You can visit the Cinque Terre, the 5 coastal villages, or in about an hour and a half, you are at Lake Como or Lake Maggiore. Here is a view from Lake Como, and going to see some of the islands and the gorgeous fishing villages that are all along the Italian lakes. Florence and Tuscany. Florence and Tuscany are, I'm sure for you, as for us, requests that we receive all the time. Travelers really want to explore the authentic Tuscany, to sort of see the Tuscan sun and the golden fields and hilltop villages. From within Florence, we're happy to arrange classic experiences like a tour of the Uffizi or the David with one of our private or small group guides. In that case, you really get to hear the history behind it and the stories and intrigue and political drama that led to the art that you're viewing. Our guide, I experienced this for myself last December when I was in Italy, really brings to life the history. So it's not just a dry sort of textbook reading of this statue was built and carved in this date, but she really brings together the history and the stories that make up the art of the past. In Florence, another wonderful tour is to view the artisan workshops there. You can go and see where they make paper by hand, seeing how the paper is marbled and constructed, or how they turn gold nuggets into handcrafted jewelry, or make mosaics out of precious stones. Within Florence, another family-friendly activity is to take a bike tour of the city, and you go to see some of the major sites on bike. This is also possible to do in the countryside. If your travelers would like to do a bike tour of Chianti, you are picked up and dropped off in Florence, taken to the countryside, and do a gorgeous tour through the hills of Tuscany. This can be either a more active tour or with a electrically assisted bike, so the travelers, even if they're going up and downhill, do not feel strained by the activity. In Rome, we are delighted to assist you with standard and classic requests like tours of the Colosseum, the Vatican, the Roman Forum. We can do this during the day, or there are after-hours tours here if your travelers are interested in sort of a more of a standout and unique experience. A lovely kid-friendly activity. We have a wonderful chef that we work with in Trastevere who invites you in. You learn how to make pizza dough. You learn how to fling and shape the dough, and then you enjoy a pizza, making a pizza that you've made yourself with toppings and mozzarella. It's a wood-fired oven, so this is a really sort of fun and exciting activity for parents and their kids. Instead of just going out to a restaurant, you really get to enjoy family connection while enjoying a lovely meal. The Gladiator School, this is a school that is based in Rome, and you learn to fight like gladiators would. We found that this is an activity that really excites slightly older children, maybe ages 10 to 15, and it keeps them active, it keeps them engaged in the history of the past while actually, using their energy and being excited about doing it. You can bike the Appian Way. The Appian Way is the original road leading into Rome, and there are these massive stone blocks that are still there, surrounded by ruins on each side. And then after your bike tour, you go to one of the catacombs that are located there and see the history of Rome underground. This is a great activity to do in the slightly warmer months when you're outside in the sunshine, and then you go into the catacombs, which are still very cool. So you get to cool off after a little bit of exercise past the Roman ruins. A lot of our activities also in Rome are surrounded by sort of food and themed with food activities. Our guide in Rome, who is a Roman himself, born and bred, takes you on a walking tour of Trastevere, the authentic region just south of the Vatican. And there you stop in a local bakery, a gelato shop, you have a slice of cheese here, a tasting of prosciutto there, and get to eat the food that Romans eat and learn from the vendors who've specialized in this in a very authentic area in Rome. Naples and the Amalfi Coast, especially in the warmer and summer months, is a very popular destination. Along the way to the Amalfi Coast, if they are picked up in Naples, a lot of travelers like to enjoy doing a guided visit to Pompeii. When our travelers go to Pompeii, we work with a guide who has a master's degree in ancient art history. She's 100% fluent in Pompeii. She knows the back alleys, the streets, every stone and every column there, so that no matter what your travelers' interests are they interested in culture, are they interested in art, are they interested in history, religion, she can really cater the tour, the private tour, to their exact interests, and is very great with children as well. Along the way there, we stop at an authentic Neapolitan pizzeria, so your travelers can sort of break up their travel, especially if they're coming from a city like Rome or Florence. This is a little bit further away. In the Amalfi Coast, we can do a private boat tour either along the Amalfi Coast, stopping at some of the grottos, or to Capri, where they can also enjoy a viewing of the Blue Grotto. On the private boat cruise, it's really up to your travelers what they would like to enjoy. Do they want to drop anchor and go swimming? Do they want to have more time at leisure to explore the island on their own? Really, our captain is 100% able to cater the experience to their style and energy for the day. A limoncello making class, this is great for parents perhaps, where they want to go and have a night off for themselves. You can go to a lemon grove in the town of Sorrento, you pick lemons, and then using the lemon rind, you make your own limoncello, which you can bring back. Again, this is a souvenir that you've made for yourself, rather than something that you just pick up in a tourist shop along the way. Another family-friendly activity that may be of interest to some of your travelers is a hike along the Path of the Gods. The Path of the Gods is a naturally occurring coastal trail that starts in Positano and heads along the coast. Your travelers, in the company of our professional nature guide, will see ruins of ancient farms along the way, sweeping views of the Amalfi Coast and Capri, and really get to breathe in the fresh air away from the tourist crowds. So what is the Italy difference? Why work with us and not some other operator? We really do pride ourselves on being a people-first tour operator. We want to know who our travel partners are. We want you to know us, and we want to know you, and we want to be able to cater exactly to what your needs are. We don't just copy and paste. We don't outsource to customer service reps in Nebraska or in other countries. We know who you are. You can call us and always speak to us, and we know your needs and are able to assist you. We're 100% passionate about giving you access to the Italy that we love. We do run a business, but our passion really is sharing the Italy that we love. We wouldn't be doing this if we didn't love Italy so much and didn't want more people to experience the Italy that we have been fortunate enough to experience. We have expertise in all of Italy. So if you have a request for a small town in Sardinia, call us, we're able to assist you. If you have a family that wants to go to Sicily because grandma is from a small village on the eastern coast, we have a genealogical guide there who can walk them through and show them documents from where those people are from. So really, no request is impossible for us. We have the connections to be able to satisfy your travelers, your discerning travelers' needs and their wants. Our staff is bilingual in English and Italian. This includes me. I myself lived in Italy for 2 years, so nothing is lost in translation. We are communicating constantly with our partners and providers in Italy so that everything is understood and communicated as clearly as possible to you and to the travelers. We check in with your travelers a few times during the trip just to make sure that everything is going well and to see if there's any additions or changes that they need to make, so we can do those on your behalf. And you, like I said earlier, aren't getting that 2 a.m. stressed out phone call from a traveler. We are the ones who handle that. We're also able to assist if any emergency does arrive during the trip. We are there and available to assist and be the go-between with your travelers. We personally vet all things that we include in our itineraries. So there's nothing included in our itineraries that we just Google and find. We know our providers, we know our partners, we know the hotel managers. This makes the difference because if there is a hiccup along the way, we aren't talking to a customer service rep. We're talking straight to the source. We are also able to cater tours to your clients. Do your clients only like one type of wine? Our guide in Chianti is a certified sommelier, and she knows the owners of these vineyards personally. So she's able to cater and piece together these tours that you can't just Google and find on your own. You know, we really are able to stitch them together and to create a seamless and coherent experience for you. We help you to wow your travelers by doing the bookings for you, by giving them personal care and attention, making them feel welcomed and at home in Italy during their time abroad. In addition to all the things that I mentioned, I wanted to share with you a few other things that we're also able to assist you with in case you do get requests along these lines. We are able to assist with the booking of private villas and country homes, whether this is for a couple, for a family, for a multi-generational family where you have aunts, uncles, cousins, nieces, nephews, infants, elderly people. And these are throughout Italy. So, you know, if your clients come to you and say, you know, we'd really love a villa in Umbria, we really want a villa in Tuscany, we are able to offer you some really gorgeous accommodations, often including private pools. If your travelers are ones who want to have a chef at their disposal during the week, we can also arrange that so they're getting delicious Italian homemade food in the gorgeous kitchen there. We're able to assist with romantic memories. Maybe you have slightly younger travelers or someone who is returning to Italy on an anniversary trip with their kids. If, for instance, there was a time that we had a travel agent contact us, and she said that one of her clients was about to propose to his girlfriend, and we arranged with this travel agent for them to visit the balcony of Juliet from Romeo and Juliet in Verona, and with a photographer there, he proposed to his girlfriend under Juliet's balcony in Italy. Access to behind the scenes. So right here you see these are giant wheels of Parmesan. This is a picture I took during my trip to Italy in December, where you go to the farm where Parmesan cheese is made. Now this isn't a tour in the sense of, you know, going to like the Coke factory and there's an official tour there. Our guide knows the owner. You knock on the door opens, you see the locals making cheese the old-fashioned way, and you are explained by our guide the whole process and do a tasting of the cheeses there. They crack open a wheel and you get to taste cheese that's been aged for 24 months, for 12 months, for 36 months, and really get to be brought behind the scenes. So these are sort of the connections that we nourish and nurture in Italy and are able to share with you. Active adventures, hiking in Italy, biking, trekking, spelunking, canoeing, kayaking. If your families are more on the active side, if they want to do a running tour in Florence, any of these are options that we are able to assist with you. You just need to sort of let us know who your travelers are, and then we help cater activities that will satisfy them and how they like to travel and enjoy themselves. Luxury experiences. These aren't experiences that are for every traveler, but in some cases, we know the travelers really do want that sort of standout spa or luxury experience. In Emilia-Romagna, near Modena, you can go and have a Ferrari ride in the countryside with a professional driver. It's also possible to do this on site at the Ferrari headquarters. They have a racetrack there where you're able to do a tour with a professional driver around the track, right where the Ferraris are made. This is also where the Ferrari Museum is, and you can see the different versions of Ferrari that have existed over time. This is a picture here from the thermal hot springs that are in Montecatini, a small town in Tuscany. This was a resort town back into the ancient Roman times. There are thermal hot springs there, and some really luxury and gorgeous historic spas where your clients can relax, disconnect, enjoy a massage, and time in the thermal springs. Destinations, weddings, and events. So if your travelers perhaps want to get married in Italy, we're able to assist with group hotel rates, rental spaces, catering, DJs, you name it, we're able to assist and for an event of this sort. So what are travelers saying about Sea Italy? Not necessarily just the agents, but the people who go on our trips, your clients. I'd like to thank you. This is one of the reviews that we recently received. I'd like to thank you for making our first trip to Europe so wonderful and pleasant. Since we arrived in Venice, every minute of our Italian adventure has exceeded our expectations. The itinerary was vast and included all the must-sees. Our tour guides and drivers have been excellent, and your efforts to accommodate my physical needs have been much appreciated. We highly recommend your services. Another traveler said, I want to thank you for the amazing week on the Amalfi Coast. Our villa was incredible. I will treasure the memories of the trips for the rest of my life. Our group was treated like royalty by all of your staff and partners in Italy. You were so helpful in planning an itinerary that satisfied all of our varied interests. Our group now shares a bond that would be impossible without your help. We enjoyed worry-free Amalfi's sights and tastes. You perfectly facilitated all aspects of the trip. Grazie per tutto. So we are there with you in the trip planning process, and we are there with your travelers during the trip. As you're an extension of your team in Italy, we do not market to your travelers. We will never take any of your travelers and try and make them our travelers. We know these are your clients, but we take care of them as if they are our clients in Italy. Travel agents who work with Sea Italy also have some words of praise to share with you. I need to tell you that each of my clients who've experienced your Italy could not have been happier. Their expectations were surpassed, and they cannot wait to return. You and your staff have been wonderful to work with, and I know my clients will be well taken care of during their travels. You're a wonderful, fabulous, gracious, knowledgeable, inventive, generous, nurturing, creative, and savvy woman with a big heart. I feel blessed to work with you and look forward to more Sea Italy itineraries. Another agent said, Sea Italy has planned a variety of Italy FIT trips for my clients. Your knowledge of Italy is very helpful in planning not only an Italian vacation, but an Italian experience. Hand-picked hotels, cooking classes, private tours, the balloon rides, and more. I always receive compliments from my clients on what a wonderful Italy vacation they had. I highly recommend Laura and Sea Italy Travel, not only for her knowledge and suggestions, but also because she's a pleasure to work with. So if you have any clients who are thinking of going to Italy who really need a custom itinerary and that personal touch, we invite you to contact us for any travel inquiries or just to pick our brain and sort of ask, hey, this is what the travelers have in mind. Do you think this is feasible? We're happy to offer suggestions and listen to you and let you know what sort of itinerary we would help you put together. You can contact us always at info@seaitalytravel.com. There's also an inquiry form available on our website, seaitalytravel.com. And you can call our direct line at 858-201-6424. If you'd like to follow us on social media, you can follow us on Facebook and at Instagram. It's the same handle, Sea Italy Travel. We share their tips on travel through the Authentic Italy and information on our upcoming educational trips, which we'll be announcing in just a few weeks. So at this point, I am going to unmute and stop sharing the screen, and happy to answer any questions that you all may have. And thank you so much for listening to us and for taking time out of your very busy schedules to hear a little bit about how we can support agents like you in sharing the Authentic Italy with your travelers.
For certain experiences. Sorry.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that? I missed the very first, the first couple seconds.
I know. Sorry. I'm just wondering, do you only do full itineraries, or maybe I missed this, but can you do just experiences or activity only if they come to us and they already have hotels finished, or is it full itinerary development only?
Generally speaking, we prefer full itinerary because we really like to make sure that there is a consistency of quality throughout the trip. In some cases, we do understand that travelers may have, rewards points and they've already booked hotels. And if you are interested in doing transfers and guided experiences and some private tours. We should be able to assist in a situation like that, but ideally we do prefer to do comprehensive itineraries. We're not a sort of a la carte one-off service, one train ride here, one hotel right there, because for us it really is about creating a coherent, cogent, memorable experience from start to finish.
And then just one other question.
Laura had something to say.
I don't know if you could see my video too. I apologize. I'm Laura Mastoni. Hi, everybody. Yes, Chris is right. We do prefer to do full comprehensive itineraries, but if you do have a hotel because your client is using points or wants to get, their points on, hotels.com or booking.com, then yes, we do activities only.
And then do you guys have an idea of what a 1-week trip would be for a family 4 starting price for a 4-star level and then like a 5-star level?
All of our itineraries start from €350 per person per day, and that includes hotels, and it depends on what hotels. It's hard to say, if it includes a 4-star, a 5-star, because sometimes it could be December, and it could be December 1st, and it's freezing. And, it's even included a 5-star hotel in that price. Usually what it is, it's a hotel and 1 activity per day. It could have like a food tour, but usually as a general rule is €350 per person per day, starting price.
Okay, so that's about like $1,700–1,800 a day. Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
Okay.
Hi.
Yeah, and some of that would also vary. It varies on the inclusions. We are able to arrange private guides or small group tours. So, if it was a 4-star booking and they had more of an interest in doing some, shared experiences, that would also naturally impact the price. If it's all private guides, all private drivers, that would be a more of a higher end booking. So it's not that we only work with quote unquote luxury clients. We are able to customize based upon the request.
Yeah, and it can also be apartments, by the way. We do deal with some very nice apartments. They could have, Duomo view. They could have, Spanish Steps or Piazza Navona view. So it really depends. Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
You mentioned that there is an inquiry link or something. Where exactly is that? I didn't hear all of that.
It should be in the upper right-hand corner of our website, seeitalytravel.com.
Oh, okay.
And there's a button, there just should be something that says like submit inquiry up in the upper right-hand corner. Or you can always call or email us. Either one is fine. You don't have to submit the inquiry form. So if you were to contact info@seeitalytravel.com and say, hey, I have a family of 4. They're traveling to, Umbria this November, and this is what they're looking at. Could someone give me a call? One of our agents will get back to you, typically in less than 24 hours, in order to start the itinerary creation process.
Great, thanks.
You're welcome. Anybody else? Okay.
We sure? There's no.
I actually had
no
one
silly
question.
Questions.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Kathy.
Sorry, it's Kathy. I had a quick question. You had mentioned your educational opportunities for agents. Can you explain a little bit more about that, how that works in case some of our advisors are over in Italy or would like to take advantage of that? What's the cost? How does that work?
So as I said, we do 4 trips per year. Laura just hosted a 10-day trip to Sicily. Laura's based in Sicily right now. And we did one to Lake Como, Lake Maggiore. So we pick different areas and different regions in Italy. And generally speaking, most of them are 7-night trips. The Sicily one we did for 10 nights, as that is a really diverse and rich region, and there's just so much to see there that we thought we were doing a disservice to it. So the agents are pre-selected. We have an application process to make sure that the participants are serious about learning, serious about travel, and serious about investing in their education. And then we like to call them educational trips, not fam trips, because we think we do more than familiarize you. We immerse you in the authentic Italy. So you really, you get to do sort of, I would say, a extra intense version of one of the trips that we would put together for travel agents. So if on a given day we might normally do one activity for travelers, in an educational trip you might have lunch at a family farm and a cooking class, and in the evening you would do a short guided stroll with one of our guides. And during the trip, you get to experience a number of different styles of accommodations. In Sicily, you were staying in some historic hotels in the city center, in some of the countryside hotels. In Puglia, we stayed in a converted farmhouse in the countryside that was surrounded by olive orchards. And then in another night, we stayed at a boutique hotel in the city center. Travel agents who participate in this can earn a 14% commission with us for the year that follows. The price for the trips this year was $2,050 for travel agents, and that was for overnight trips, and it was $2,350 for the Sicily trip, which was a 10-day trip, so it was a slightly longer trip. And that is including accommodations, private guides, entrance fees, authentic meals, wine tastings, wine at your meals, 4-star, 5-star boutique hotel accommodations. If you travel as an individual, you stay in a room by yourself, so you're not having to bunk up with someone you don't know. And there's always a member of the Sea Italy team who's there with you throughout the entire trip. We're there in the morning for breakfast. We're there through all of the activities so that we can answer any questions you have and really help to build that personal relationship with you.
Yeah, and if you go by yourself to Italy, let's say you're on a cruise and you want to experience one of our activities, you can always contact us for that. We usually give you the cost of the activity at a discounted price because we ask our guides to invest in your time and you investing in our experience as well.
Right, so this is another option that if you can't, say, commit to an entire week in Italy, if you'd already planned, but you say, hey, you guys seem like someone I might be wanting to work with in the future. I'm going to be in Florence. 2 of my days are already booked up, but I have this Monday free. What could you suggest? These are my interests. We're able to offer you sort of, if you want to try us out, as Laura said, we can help arrange some services for you so you can sort of test it out for yourself if you weren't able to participate in a week-long trip.
Yeah. Yeah, and one fun thing that we did in Sicily, for example, we do a lot of unusual things, but with the travel agent or travel advisors, I should say, they experience smelling of the wood, which is something we've never done. So we went to an artisan that works with old beams that he finds in palazzos, right? And they don't do anything with those beams. They could be from the 400s or, 1400s or 1600s. So with one of the beams, it was a particular piece of wood, and it was native to the island of Sicily. When he actually cut it, you could smell all the citrus smell that the island provides. So from the oranges to the lemons, and it was great. It was a great experience because nobody has ever done it. I never done it myself either, but it was nice to experience the island by just smelling of the wood. So.
Yeah, and one thing I think that really, these educational trips, I escorted one a few years back with Laura to Puglia, to the heel of the boot. One of the things that we really strive to do and show off on these trips is allow for connection with the local reality and with local traditions. When we were in Puglia, there's a cooking school there that was founded by a local association of mothers and grandmothers. And they were worried that some of the food traditions were being lost from generation to generation. Some of the younger kids are going to college in Rome or Milan and staying there and not returning home. So there isn't really as much being passed down hand to hand. So they got together and founded a cooking school. And we did a hands-on pasta making class with them, where you're learning from not a professional chef from a Michelin-starred restaurant, but from a local grandmother who learned from her grandmother, who learned from her grandmother. And then we did this all around a giant farm table. They gave us a bowl and a knife. Those were the two things that we were given to make the pasta. And we made pasta and a feast together, and they're sharing family stories along the way. So these are the sorts of experiences that we spend time sort of curating for you, because we know that they leave a really strong memory in your client's mind, and have authenticity, not just in a cultural sense, but in that sort of people-to-people connection kind of way.
Yeah. And did you talk about commission level, Chris?
Yes, so the standard commission is 12% gross. If you participate in our travel advisor educational trips, it's 14%. If in some cases there's 1,000,001 revisions and the clients are kind of driving you crazy, if you need us to sort of add in a little bit more commission in that case, we are also able to do so. We're flexible with that, so let us know. But the standard commission is 12% gross. Some agents prefer to work on a net basis. We were able to do that. Traditionally, we work on commission basis.
Right.
Anybody
Okay.
else have any other questions? Linda, Brendan, in Italy, anything?
Oh, you have people in Italy
No,
too.
we're
That's
good.
great.
We're good. Yeah, no, it's pretty straightforward.
Great, and if you have any
And-
questions that occur to you guys in the upcoming days, I will be sharing the link with Kathy, and I can also share some information about our educational trips with her, so you can pass that on if any of you would like to join them in the future. I'm happy to answer the phone and chat with you. Just send an email to either info@seaitalytravel.com or Christopher@seaitalytravel.com. That's my direct email, and I'm happy to answer any questions you might have as they arise.
Yeah. And if you have any questions in regard of the reservations or ideas for any upcoming, requests that you have, you can also email me, Laura@seaitalytravel.com.
Thank you both so much for your time. We appreciate you educating
Thank you,
us on
guys.
Sea Italy.
Take you so much.
Look forward to it.
Grazie.
Take good care.
Thank you.
Grazie.
Have a good day.
Ciao,
Bye.
ciao, ciao.
Thanks.
Bye, guys.
Ciao, ciao.